Thank you so much for joining us today. We have another great conversation for you, and we thank you for having this lunch with us. So we'll get your brown bag out, or your smoothie, or whatever you're doing for lunch, your sandwich, your ham sandwich, your bacon sandwich, whatever you got, and eat and be part of the conversation. If you want to have a question for our guest, or you got a question for the show, please make sure you put it in comments. If you have any comments about our conversation, please also do the same. And if you want to reach out to us with a question, you can do that also. So let's get started. Every week, this month, we're also introducing and highlighting women-owned businesses in the state of Mississippi. And I'm so excited today to be introducing to you, for those of you who may not know her, Miss Alicia Netterfield, who's an attorney here in the city of Jackson, has her own skincare line around shea butter products and all types of other lip balms and all types of things. And I tell you, it's the best thing since sliced bread. It's called hemp seed. Shea butter products, products for your feet, products for your skin. I live by her lip balm, and love her shea products. So I want you to reach out to you can just Google hemp seed, and also I want to show this little clip about her products and services, and check her out, okay? So check her out. That's Miss Alicia Netterfield, who's an incredible woman in person, in addition to being a great entrepreneur with her product, hemp seed. And as I stated, and if you know Willie Jones, if I recommend a product, you're going to love it, okay? So get it, share it with your friends, support a woman-owned business, not just because she's a woman, but because she is providing product and services that is going to blow you up. So please reach out to her and order her products and check her out. Thank you so much, Alicia Netterfield, for what you do and for inspiring us with your entrepreneur skills. Now, I am so excited today. This person is not a first-timer to the Women for Progress Radio Network. We've had her many times because she is doing many things, okay? So we're always excited to bring her back all the time because she has a fresh conversation. She's always doing something different. So we have to keep bringing her back to keep track of her and about the many things that she's doing. Miss Shameka Reed is an award-winning public relations marketing specialist, journalist, and serial entrepreneur. We're going to talk about that serial entrepreneurship. A 2003 graduate of Jackson State University, Shameka has more than 15 years of experience in the mass media and communication industry. For the past 6 years, she's produced the Young, Gifted, and Empowered Awards, a televised awards show that recognizes the accomplishments of young professionals between the ages of 25 and 45. She is also an avid international traveler, which led her to found Global Gateways, a study abroad company committed to helping students of color have global life-changing experiences. In 2018, while visiting Ghana, she partnered with a local woman to help create women's accessories by the name of Twee. Twee features handmade personalized bracelets from Ghana. Welcome, Shameka Reed, to the Working Woman Report.
Hi, Willie. How are you?
I'm doing great. It's so fantastic to have you here. You're looking so rested and lovely.
So do you. I don't know how rested I am, but I'm glad that I can appear that way.
Well, we'll talk a little bit off camera, what you might be taking, so we could share.
Okay.
That. So
okay.
We want to jump right into the conversation because we got a lot to cover. So I want to talk a little bit about you, and then we're going to get in a little bit more down the road on some of your work. Now, the reason we keep bringing you back for these conversations is because you're always doing something different. You're always doing something fresh. And there seems to be a strategic practice to what you're doing, a method to what you're doing. So I want to start my conversation off with you today about what guides the diversity of your work and projects, and what is the motivation behind it all?
That's a great question. What guides that is understanding my purpose in life. And using that purpose in every aspect of everything that I do. I think my purpose is to be a public servant, or maybe not in a political kind of way, holding a political office or anything like that. But for years, I've been involved in media, journalism, public relations, marketing of some kind. And so I, kind of have pivoted away from that a little bit. But what I try to do is use those skills to help tell the stories and to help empower other people through that. So that's what has been kind of my driving force behind why I do some of the things that I do. And for me, I always question, like, does it fit? Does it fit, if I'm thinking about doing something, does it fit within the realm of what I feel that my purpose is going to do? First of all, is it going to bring God glory? Mm-hmm. If it is not going to bring God glory, if it's not going to advance his kingdom, then more than likely I probably shouldn't be doing it. Yeah. So that is always, always a factor in. And then, I'll say this. Sometimes people think in order to bring God glory and to advance his kingdom, you have to preach the gospel. You have to, become a preacher or something like that. I don't believe that. I believe when God gives you talents and skills, that you are to use it to help other people and to help, move his message forward. So.
Oh, thank you so much for saying that. And I totally agree with you. And when you say that to give him glory and to move his message forward, but also we want to say to empower the work that we do, and to empower us as individuals. So we know if we're doing things that are in his will and what he has for us, that we're just going, everything we touch is just going to blow up, and people are going to automatically find substance in it. And be empowered by what we do. So thank you so much for sharing that. That's awesome. That's really, really awesome. Now, how has your work changed or been impacted by COVID, and what type of awareness have come out of this past year for you? We've been talking to women who've been, they've been pivoting and making all kinds of spins during COVID. And it's been an empowering experience for many of us. And when we think about pandemic, we think, oh my gosh, horrible. But it's just been amazing what women have been able to do. So how has your work been impacted or changed by COVID? And what awareness have all of that brought to what you're doing?
Well, the biggest... I'm trying to see how I want to say this. There have been several areas of my life that have definitely been impacted by COVID. And just like everyone, all of our lives have been changed. I still work a full-time job. So for most of last year, probably from March until August, I worked from home, which was an adjustment which I had not done before, which I really enjoyed. And so it just, made things, it kind of got me more settled and out of the rat race of life of getting up, going to work, going to do this, and it slowed me down, which I greatly appreciated. It allowed me time to meditate, to spend time in the morning praying, exercising, working out, just things that I did not have time to do during the week because I was always on this wheel of moving. So from that perspective, it did change things for me. For Young, Gifted, and Empowered, it made me pivot. And, you talked about how women have pivoted their businesses during this pandemic. It actually did that.
Come on in.
It made me begin to think about how we do Young, Gifted, and Empowered this year in a safe way, but yet it's still an effective way. And so it made me more creative. It made me more resourceful. And then there was a couple of other projects that I was working on that were supposed to happen in person. And we were able to do it virtually, which allowed us, it was a week-long Spanish language summer camp for youth. So versus us having 30 kids, it allowed us to have like 80 kids in the program because we were able to do it virtually. So it had its challenges, but then it also had these great, amazing opportunities to grow, to reach more people. And that's kind of how I looked at it. And so those are some of the changes that I faced.
Yeah, I'm hearing that too. And I wanted to highlight a couple of things that you mentioned. You say a time to slow down and help. And even I'm hearing women saying it's an opportunity to develop relationships that, because, when we as women, when we're doing what we're doing every day, we're moving so fast. We have 10 things on our plate. And so COVID, I think, for many of us has allowed us to have an opportunity to kind of step back a little bit, think about what we're doing, and also relationship building. I think for me, that has been so exciting. As a matter of fact, I don't think even though I've done quite a lot more relationship building in the past year than I've ever had, I still, when I stepped into where we were around the pandemic, one of the things that I thought about is, and I said to myself after a few months, is I want to use this as an opportunity to develop my relationships. Not only my family relationships, the relationships with my grandchildren, the relationships with my children, the relationship with my friends, my business relationships. I wanted to look at them differently. I want to interact with them differently. And it's been just empowering. And then I think in the midst of all of it, Mika, is being able in that slowing down process to see the glory of God and what He's been in my life. I was leaving my building the other day, and I was the only one here. I shouldn't probably say that on Facebook, but I was leaving my building, and one of the things that, it takes me a while because I have to lock up the building and lock the gates and all that kind of stuff. And I start turning around and looking at the space that I was in. And then I start reflecting over my life and how wonderful it's been. And even when I thought about the challenges that I've had in my life, and I've had some big ones, it's all been amazing. It's all, and I just in that moment realized how glorious it is all been. And I tell you, I just had a little jump up and shouting moment there by myself, So yeah. I just want us to remember, sometimes I know it's been challenging with us, and it continues to be challenging. We got the water issues now. Yeah. Black and women of color have been, I think, the most impacted by all of this stuff, and we got so much to do moving forward. But I want us all to just take a moment and think over our lives and think about what we have been gifted with. And sometimes it's not even about material things. It's about the talent that you have been blessed with by God. The talent to sing, the talent to speak, the talent to love, the talent to dance, the talent to do what you do, and your superpowers that you have. Just think about that and the awesomeness of what you bring to the table, specifically as women, what we bring to the table. Because I really do think that God has a special place for women. I'm not saying men are not great, and the Adams out there, we love you, love you, love you. But I really do think women have a unique relationship with God and a purpose with God. Do you agree?
Oh, I absolutely agree. I definitely think that women probably are quicker to say yes to God, to whatever it is. You know, no slight to men. But I absolutely agree, because you have to understand, for a while, Adam was on the earth by himself, and God saw that he needed a suitable helpmate, and he created woman. And he, because he didn't think it was good for man to be alone. He definitely thought that women would bring a certain kind of companionship, a certain kind of, a certain kind of guidance, I think, and a certain kind of influence to men. I think, he knew that if men were to go to the next level in life, they needed a woman. Exactly. I believe that. And, that's what I believe.
I agree with that. And I think most men would agree with that. My husband, I just see him now smiling all the times we've had these types of these Adam and Eve conversations. And I think it was the most precious times when we talked about that, because even though we might have gotten into a debate about it, it was one of our most loving times at the end that we had to agree with each other. So, I am, thank God for relationships. Thank God for the men that are in our lives. Thank God for the women that are in our lives on all types of levels, and how we can work together with them. So, I want to, before we get into our other part of this Young, Gifted, and Empowered series, I also want, as a Southern girl, I like talking to other Southern girls, okay? And we have talked a lot about our Southern upbringing and what that has been to us. So, yes. So you talk a lot about, too, what your Southern roots has meant to you and how the impact of your family have made you who you are. So I want you to talk a little bit about that. How has this Mississippi soul contributed to who you are? So share a little bit about that.
Willie, I've visited some amazing places in my life, but there is no place like Mississippi. And I credit, Mississippi I credit Mississippi and my family a lot for, just the appreciation that I have for life. And I grew up in a very rural town, which I would not trade for anything, because it may, during this snowstorm that we're not accustomed to here in Mississippi, I was able to recall on some of those upbringings, like, how to live in some different situations. So if you follow me on Facebook, you know what I'm talking about, like, not having water and deciding how you're going to do certain things. But growing up, like I said, very rural family, grew up kind of on a farm. My dad was an entrepreneur. He owned a trucking company. My mother was a seamstress until her health failed her. And then she pretty much, just kind of stayed at home and helped my dad a little bit with the trucking company. So we grew up with gardens, we grew up with hog killings and things like that. I've been to all of that. Family was right there. It was a very close-knit family. So Sundays would be gatherings at Mama's house to, do whatever. Holidays were the same. But the Southern upbringing has just made me more resourceful. It teaches you how to live a simple life. And you can really adapt to any kind of situation. And it teaches you how to survive and thrive in life. And so I've been fortunate with that. I wouldn't have had it any other way, especially considering some of the things that we've gone through since 2020. I have more tools in my house now than I can. Like I was telling my sister the other day, I think I'm going to go buy me a saw, like electric saw. She was like, "What are you going to build?" I said, "I don't know, but I think I need it. I'm going to build something."
If it's nothing
So,
but to cut the trees limbs down that has fallen, during these times.
well, I don't know if I can use it for that, Willie. It's like, the saw that you use to build stuff with.
Okay.
I don't think I can use it for that.
Every woman needs a saw. I think that's the only thing that's missing from my toolkit, because I have a great toolkit too. My contractor always get tickled at me when he comes in and he start asking me for stuff, and I get my little pink and black toolkit out. And he gets tickled because I'm telling you, I'm serious when it comes to my tools, okay? But he thinks I think I know a little bit more than I really do. But I think women have to be prepared. I got so tired of every time a little something gets broke or something comes off the wall, trying to find where tools are or trying to get other people to do stuff for me. So I just have made a commitment to learn everything I need to do. I have everything in my little tool bag that I need, from putting stuff on the wall to hammers and screwdrivers and electric screwdrivers and all those things. And I don't know it all, but I'm learning it well. Yeah. And matter of fact, here at DSC, we plan in the next couple of months to begin to do some construction workshops for women. We're going to teach women how to pull in toilets and how to hang a door, how to put it. And look, my contractor just showed me, I had 2 doorknobs on the inside of my house that came off, one out of one of my bathroom doors, and one was my bedroom door. It just kept getting loose till it finally came off. And he showed me how to put the doorknob on. And you would think, I'm sure a lot of women out there know how to do that, but I did not know how to do that. So now I know how to put a doorknob in. And a lot of people don't. And it was a lot simpler than I thought. He talked to me about what type of doorknob that I wanted, which doorknob to choose. So I was excited about that. So we're going to be doing that over the next few months. And who knows how to hang a door? Sometimes you want to change your door out on the inside of your house or on the outside of your house. How do you hang a door? What do you choose? What tools that you need? Those are simple things that a lot of us, what we do, we take our little directory and we call Bob's tool company and call him to come and put in our door or place our doorknob and all that kind of stuff. And we pay him hundreds of dollars. Not that Bob don't need the hundreds of dollars. He got a family he got to take care of. But women can save money by doing these things themselves. Even the whole idea of putting in a toilet. Sometimes you have that little ringing thing in your toilet and you're like, what do I need to do to get that out? That's just a little something that you hire somebody to come out and do, and you pay $100, $150 when it takes you about 5 or 10 minutes to be able to do. So there's a lot of things that we as women need to know how to do. And what tools do you need? What are the major tools that you need in your home at all times? So we're going to be excited about that, to be able to engage women in that.
Sign me up, please.
Okay.
Let me know. So, I can know how to effectively operate this saw I want to buy.
Yes, exactly. You get ready to do a serious power tool there. I think you need to take
I don't know
class.
what I'm gonna do with that. I just bought a real drill the other day, and so I was just thinking, well, maybe I need this saw too. I probably don't, but
no, you can use it. You'll find something to use it. And I tell you, when you get your first hand tool, especially that electric one that drills or that cordless one that drills, and you get a task done, oh my goodness, you're a dangerous woman, okay? So, all right. So thank you so much for this conversation. I want to move to the second part of our conversation, Mika, because I'm so excited about this award program you've been doing now for several years, Young, Gifted, and Empowered Awards. And I want to give a couple of announcements first before we get into that conversation, and then I would like for you to talk about what was the catalyst for this particular project, and then I want you to share with us, this is Women's History Month, and so we want you to share a few of the women that you have celebrated over the years, and we're going to share with our audience about that. I want to make the announcement, of course, tomorrow night at 5:30, the Women for Progress radio show, which is live here on Facebook. And also, again, every time we go live, we're on that womenforprogressradio.com page. So you can get us there also. we'll be hosting the Ward 4 candidates, a conversation with the Ward 4 candidates. Myself and attorney Regina Quinn will be hosting that event. And our executive producer for that show is Juanita Brown, who does an amazing job for the last 11 years for Women for Progress Radio. Thank you so much, Juanita, for pulling this together for us. She's always in the background, so I always have to give her some kudos, because we come on this show and we looking cute and we think that it's an easy job, but she does all the good work behind the scenes. But that's tomorrow night at 5:30 live on Facebook and womenforprogressradio.com. Page. You can get us there, and anywhere you get your podcast, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Spreaker Radio, Apple Podcasts, all those programming, we're also live on those particular networks. All you have to do is search Women for Progress Radio or the particular title of the program, and you'll get us there. And go back and watch all of our archive shows also, either on our Facebook page, on the videos, or either on our podcast networks. But I'm going to tell you about a series that we're doing for the whole month of March called Women's History Month, A Legacy of Courage. NMHS Unlimited Film Productions, and that's Dr. Wilma Mosley Copland, who is the CEO of that film production company and a member of Women for Progress. In association with Women for Progress of Mississippi, we're hosting every Monday night at 7 p.m. in the month of March. She has a film that she's premiering, and then we follow up with a panel discussion with some incredible women that have either empowered Mississippi in their work and in their life over the past few years, several years, or either still right now in the work that they're doing that are empowering Mississippi. So we've had some amazing conversation. On March 1st, we had the impact of one, which was the Gladys Knowles Bates story. There's a school here that's named after and in her honor. And we spoke with Ms. Cassandra Welchel and Dr. Corrine Anderson was a panelist. March 8th, In Spite of It All, the Ollie Brown Shirley story. And our panel discussion after that premiere of that movie was Erin Shirley Ori. And what amazing conversation. She is running the Dr. Erin and Ollie Shirley Foundation. And we had on March 15th, just this past Monday, if you missed it, you got to go back to that page and check it out, a conversation with Judge Patricia Wise and her amazing daughter, the Honorable Crystal Wise Martin. What a wonderful conversation that was, in the work that they're doing. And they picked, and that whole idea of passing down the legacy of courage to other women, and especially those that are our daughters. And upcoming, 2 more nights coming up, March 2nd, we're going to have a conversation with Aletta Fitzgerald and her amazing daughter, who's doing some incredible work, Miss Rashida Walker, who's a realty with W Real Estate. So that's on March 22nd. And then the final Monday of the month, all of these nights have been amazing, but I tell you, the powerful attorney Constance Slaughter and her daughter also will be joining us. Every Monday night is a short prepare movie. The movies are 15 minutes or less. For all you people like me who have short attention spans, that's perfect movie. And then it's a follow-up panel discussion that we have with these incredible women. So join us every single Monday night in the month of March for this incredible celebration of the history of women and the work of women in the state of Mississippi. So those are the 2 announcements that I have. I want to remind you again to connect to us by emailing us at mail@womenforprogress.net, mail at womenforprogress.net, or text us at 601-259-6770, 601-259-6770. We want you to like our Facebook page. We are on Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn. So we want you to make sure you stay connected to us, empower up our work by making sure you like our page and sharing our page, sharing all of these broadcasts and the work that we do. If you want to work with us, we love to link hands with community. We love to link hands with other women, other organizations who are doing work to empower our communities. Give us a call, give us an email. And most times, 99% of the time, is always a yes. So reach out to us, and thank you so much. Now, let's get into the second part of our conversation. We're talking today with Ms. Shameka Reed, who's a public relations and marketing specialist and journalist and serial entrepreneur. The next time we have a conversation, Mika, I want to talk about being that serial entrepreneur, because I think that's a show in itself, okay?
Okay.
Now, will you tell us the catalyst for Young, Gifted, and Empowered Awards, and then just share with us very briefly on why you chose these women that you're sharing with us today?
So the Young, Gifted, and Empowered Awards is an award show that I started 7 years ago. This year marks 7 years. And, I believe that everyone has a role to play. I believe that everyone has something that they can contribute or do to help for the advancement of our community. And for me, it was creating this event to tell the stories of African Americans from Mississippi who are amazing leaders in art, education, philanthropy, innovation, entrepreneurship, and leadership. And it kind of came from, well, it didn't kind of come from, it came from me feeling helpless during the whole Trayvon Martin situation, or trial and everything that happened after that, and feeling helpless with George Zimmerman not being being found guilty, not being found guilty of murdering this young man, and then just seeing how the media portrayed him, and how the media portrayed his friends. And it was so disheartening. And studies show that the media plays an important role of the perception of how Black people are perceived. And so I wanted to use some skills and things that I had, developed, or talents that God had given me to tell a different narrative, to tell a different story, and create a platform where we share our own stories. There's no cavalry coming to save us. We really have to save ourselves. So we have to become more responsible of taking control of our narratives and what is put out there about us. So, of course, the media is going to display one thing, but I feel like it was my responsibility to help display something else. So I wasn't going to try to go out and fight the media and say, no, you're wrong for doing this. All Black people are not doing this. No, that's what they are tasked to do. So here's what I'm tasked to do. What I'm tasked to do is to tell those positive stories of individuals that don't get their stories told, and they're very impactful individuals. They're having global impact. And that's just kind of how I came about with YG&E.
Well, great.
It was my purpose,
And we're highlighting 4 of those previous awardees or honorees today. And what do you think that they have in common, and why you chose them over the years?
The women that you'll see today from past honorees, you'll see why we chose them. Okay. They are just rock stars. Okay. They are. They just get it done.
Wow.
They just get it done, and they're impactful. And I think more than anything, they're effective. And that's important. It's one thing to be popular, but it's a whole nother thing to be effective. And so that's why they were chosen. And that's why I wanted to share their stories. And what's going to be amazing is you'll see these stories, and they are so much further along now. And some of these stories are only 3 years old. And, but when you see these stories, I just want to put a disclaimer that what you saw then, they are light years ahead of that now. Yeah. With Rita, with, just how her career has taken off. And that was just 2 years ago that we highlighted her, or honored her. With Nashley, when we honored her, Nashley had not become one of the biggest developers in the city of Jackson by purchasing 12 acres and 7 buildings. And so now she's developing the state's first tech district. With Aisha, she was doing amazing work with Springboard Opportunity, but now this is her 3rd year providing an extra $1,000 to women across the state of Mississippi, single moms across the state of Mississippi, to, supplement their income. Sheena, when we interviewed her and honored her, it was for the apps that she had developed. Now, Sheena is the first African American female to have an online banking system that serves the underbanked or underserved communities. So she's doing amazing work with Capway. It's almost like we need to do an update on all of them.
Yeah, exactly.
Because they're doing just so much amazing work.
And I think you said it earlier. You talked about purpose and you talked about being effective. And I think and that's why I wanted to have this particular conversation with you today, and let you share some of the women so we can see where they are. Because when we think about Women's History Month, it's not just about what women have done in the past. It's about how that work is impacting what we're doing right now and what we will be doing moving forward in the future. Because you think about Sheena Allen around banking and what our need is there in our community. And then you think about Nasty Cephas, who is going to be empowering jobs and opportunities here in the city of Jackson for our community here in Jackson and the state of Mississippi. And we can go on and on with the others. My goodness, Rita Britt, who keeps us lifted up. Not only in laughter, but in spirit, and really speaks to who we are, especially of people of color, but just who we are as human beings, and the humanizing part of who we are. And of course, Aisha Neandro, who serves a population of women and families that, oh my goodness, we just could not imagine our area not having her in the work that she do, in the work she continues to do, and in the innovative way that she does it. So great. So let's get started. Okay.
It was only 5 years ago when Rita Brent performed her first comedy act. She took the stage surrounded by family and friends, and while she didn't think it was a great performance, something special happened that night.
For most of my life, I've been a musician and an academic. And then, out of the blue, I was at an open mic at this place called Suite 106. People from Jackson might be familiar with it. I was at the open mic, and there were some guys there doing comedy. And I started getting chills, and the hair on my arms started rising. I said, what's happening? And I swear, God spoke to me. He sounded like Barry White. And he was like, you can do this. I was like, whoa, God, whoa. So 2 weeks later, I was on stage doing stand-up comedy. I did a 5-minute set that night, and I think I got paid $25. And I was like, well, this is just another stream of income to help me pay off my student loans. So I just decided to take it seriously 5 years ago.
One of Rita's biggest supporters has been her mother, Angela, who says she wasn't surprised by Rita's decision to become a comedian.
Well, I was surprised, and then I wasn't surprised, because she's always been funny. And then I'm funny. People don't know that I'm funny, but I'm funny. So she came up around a lot of comedy. Her grandmother is funny. She has a very special relationship with her grandmother. And a lot of the things that her grandmother says is all funny, So I was surprised, and then I wasn't surprised, because again, I was leaning on the drums or the music part of it.
Since then, Rita has made great strides in the entertainment industry. She has shared the stage with some of the biggest names in stand-up comedy, including Ricky Smiley, Kevin Hart, and the late Dick Gregory. In 2016, she met comedian and radio personality Ricky Smiley, and he took her under his wings as a mentee. She often tours with him on the Ricky Smiley and Friends tour.
So what was it about her that made me want to give her a chance? She's humble, she's funny, she's professional, she's a Sarah, and she's lovable and cute, and I just absolutely love her. As a matter of fact, we spend time together, we go out on the boat, we really kick it. So I love that. She's one of my favorite Sarahs ever. And I just absolutely love her, so I add her to my little sister list. So that's what it is about her, because she's really sweet, and she's a drummer, because I'm taking drum lessons now, so I'm trying to be just as good a drummer as her, so maybe she can teach me some lessons, whatever, but I'm really proud of her, and glad to be working with her.
Summer 2017, Rita decided to bet on herself and become a full-time comedian. Soon thereafter met comedy mogul Kevin Hart. She was featured on Heart of the City, Film True TV's Laugh Mob, Laugh Tracks, awarded first runner-up in the American Black Film Festival's Comedy Wings competition, performed at the Essence Festival 2018 as a main stage act, and the Just for Laughs Festival in Montreal, Canada.
If I wanted to just look at her right now, I would just tell her how much I love her and how grateful I am for her journey. I would tell her to always remember her journey and share her journey as she goes higher, because just like somebody's journey helped her, her journey is going to help somebody.
Comedian Rita Brent, the 2019 Young, Gifted, and Empowered Artist of the Year.
My name is Sheena Allen. I am the CEO and founder of Sheena Allen Apps and Capway. I'm the 2017 Young, Gifted, and Empowered Innovator of the Year. I grew up in Terry, Mississippi, a little small town on the outskirts of Jackson. So growing up, I was not into tech at all. I actually wanted to be an artist growing up. I used to draw and paint all the time, so I originally wanted to be an artist. I was not into tech in any way. I actually stumbled into technology in college. So I went to the University of Southern Mississippi, and I double majored in psychology and film. And it was actually my senior year of college where I went to Walmart, and I ended up having a very long receipt. And I decided then that I was going to create this app that allowed me to keep up with my money and my receipts. And that was my first time that I really took a deep look into technology, and I just fell in love with it. Not knowing anything about technology, it was definitely not easy. But my first app, I actually developed it with a partner. But even before then, I designed that first app out in Microsoft Word, which has nothing to do with designing or apps. But because I didn't know anything about technology and I really didn't know the process of it, I did what I knew. And so I designed it out, Microsoft Word. I Googled and found a developer to partner with, and I got a loan from my dad. And that was like the first step into my first app. To date, Sheena Allen Apps has 5 apps. Though we are working on more, and Capway has 1 app. But of the 6 that I have, Dublin is actually the most successful. Dublin was my 3rd app, and Dublin was the app that I did about 500,000 downloads in 3 months. And it was the app that actually pushed me over the edge to say, I'm taking this serious, this is what I'm going to do for a living. And it was actually when I packed my clothes and I left Mississippi and went to Silicon Valley. So we're a financial technology company who caters to the unbanked and underbanked. And that company actually came out of me coming back to Mississippi and trying to get money for Sheena Allen Apps. And growing up, my grandmother never had a bank account. My great-grandmother never had a bank account. My babysitter, you couldn't sit in her recliner because she kept her money in her sock in her recliner. So you knew as a kid, like, you don't sit in that seat. But, as the more I researched, I got a chance to see that it wasn't just a Mississippi problem. Although Mississippi, 41% of Mississippians do not use traditional banking, but it's a problem everywhere. And we offer 2 products, prepaid debit card and a bank-issued debit card. So the difference in those is, of course, the prepaid debit cards is no different when people walk into Walmart or Family Dollar, Dollar General, pick up a prepaid debit card. What makes us different is we also offer bank-issued debit cards. And so you can either convert over with your prepaid debit card. So we actually, part of the financial literacy is we educate you. So for some people, maybe a prepaid debit card is their best option. But for others, it's no different from any other predatory option. So we educate them on the possibilities or why they should, or if it's better for them to have a bank-issued debit card. So within our app, you can either activate your prepaid debit card, keep up with your transactions, or you can actually open up a bank account or convert over to a bank account. I want to leave a legacy to say I know exactly what I want that to be. Right now, I honestly couldn't tell you. But I know whatever it's going to be something that no one's ever done. Every time I do something, I try to do it different. And it's not because I want to stand out to be different. It's just that nobody remembers you if you don't break the rules. You got to do something different for somebody to remember you.
It's a powerful quote about leadership. If serving is beneath you, then leading is beyond you. Dr. Aisha Yandoro is a committed public servant whose leadership style has remained constant as a servant leader. And Dr. Yandoro is, of course, the Young, Gifted, and Empowered Leader of the Year. Congratulations.
Thank you.
You rock. I've seen you in action.
Thank you.
You're awesome. I can keep going on and on and on. And you're humble, and you'll just keep saying thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, gosh, you've done some wonderful things, but right now you're executive director of Springboard to Opportunities, where you really help a lot of families who are in affordable housing. Tell me how you assist them.
So Springboard to Opportunities, and thank you so much, Kathy, for that great introduction. I'm really excited about this opportunity. And Springboard to Opportunities works with about 2,500 individuals who live in a setting of affordable housing throughout the state of Mississippi. And our entire organization is built on the premise that affordable housing is important, but it is not the only necessity when we're talking about breaking the cycle of generational poverty and really putting supportive services in place to help families live their best lives. And so our work really is about radically engaging our residents and empowering them to live their best dreams and their biggest life.
What was it that said in your spirit, you know, I must do this? Because you did not start out doing this work. Tell me about the early years.
So, you know, it's interesting. I've always wanted to work in the community. So I didn't start off specifically doing this work, but I have always known that community work is where I was supposed to be. I am a third generation community social activist. My grandmother was a civil rights worker. My mom is an advocate. My father is a pastor. So I've always known that working with people and working in place was where I was going to end up. I had a roundabout way of how to get there, working in academia and working as an evaluator for a couple of years. But I've always known that I was really interested in understanding community at a broader level, so understanding the systems and policies and everything that impacts space. So specifically how I ended up with Springboard is a wonderful testament of God's grace and really what happens when you trust Him without questioning. I had a great job. I was a program officer at a foundation here locally, and I was having a really good time. And this opportunity came about where it really was, how do we build something that is not occurring? How do we put a vision in place? And really, how do we change a field? And giving me an opportunity to be a part of that. So I stepped out on faith and I said, I'm going to do this. And it has been a magical 3 years.
Tell us about your leadership style. Sum it up in 3 words if you can. Okay, we'll give you 5.
I can do 3. I'm going to accept that challenge, and a good leader follows directions, so I'm going to sum it up in 3. I am going to say that in 3 words, my leadership style is humble, servant, giving. And that's really how and now I have to explain that, because when you say 3 words, such as that, it's like, what do you really mean? I'm a servant leader. I understand that I am in this space that I am for a bigger purpose than me. So it's not about me. It's not about my work. The accolades and everything are beautiful, and it's a blessing. But I truly understand that this wonderful life that I have is from the prayers of previous generations. My mother's side of the family, my grandmother was a sharecropper, born in the Delta, and here I am, Young, Gifted, Empowered Leader of the Year. So I understand that my life is a bigger story, and that my opportunity to serve and my opportunity to have a seat at the table is not about me. It really is about those that I'm called to work with and those who I'm supposed to have a hand on.
Where's your happy place?
My happy place. I'm very fortunate. I love my job, so work is my happy space. But more specifically, I have a 5-year-old son who, next to salvation, is the best thing that's ever happened to me. So wherever Tandakai is my happy place, which is true. I love him. He is everything good. He is.
Aisha, this has been fabulous. So you've realized a lot of great dreams. What's next for you?
Oh, wow. What is next? I knew you were going to ask that question, so I actually really did tell myself to think about that answer. And I really don't know, because I didn't even think that this was next. So I'm really being open to whatever is next. I am 36, and I have my dream job. I've always wanted to be the executive director of a nonprofit doing really powerful work. And I'm here at 36. So it shows that what is possible is much bigger than any dreams that I have. So I don't know what's next, but I am open to whatever that is, and I'm excited about the continued ride.
And that is why you are the Young, Gifted, and Empowered Leader of the Year.
Thank
Dr.
you.
Yandara, thank you so
Thank
much
you
for
so
all
much,
that you
Kathy.
do, and congratulations.
Thank you.
Imagine making a presentation at a conference about your startup company when an executive from Amazon tells you they like your product and are interested in your business. That's exactly what happened to Dr. Nashley Cephas.
A guy walked up to me and he said, "Hey, I'm from Amazon. I really like what you're working on. Do you think we can talk more?" And I was like, "Oh, sure, definitely." At that moment, I was like, "Oh, wow, is this for real?" I don't know if he's serious or not. From that point on, he asked me if he could have my card. And then I asked him if I could have his card, and he kind of gave me that, "Don't call us, we'll call you." I didn't know if he would call or not. I wasn't really expecting it, but sure enough, he did call, and one thing led to another, and we ended up getting acquired by Amazon.
Nashley, an expert in image and speech recognition and machine learning, was the chief technology officer for PartPick, a technology that allows consumers to use recognition to find replacement parts.
I basically was in charge of all things tech for PartPick. That involved managing the tech team, building out the remainder of the software, and scaling it so that we could bring on additional customers.
Being a black male in engineering is one thing, but being a black person in engineering and being a female and putting those together is even more of a unicorn.
African American women account for less than 1% of the engineering industry, but Nashley knew early on that she was interested in the field.
I remember my 8th grade science teacher, her name was Miss Powell. She recommended I attend a summer engineering camp at Mississippi State University. It was actually a summer engineering camp for girls. When I went there, they basically taught us about all the disciplines of engineering, and I knew from that point on computer engineering was what I wanted to do.
We were both pretty good students in elementary, and I always joked that she brought the hammer when we met in 6th grade because I didn't really know her, but we had classes together, and I wondered, who is this person who is getting all these certificates that I was used to getting? My very first, most vivid memory of her is like doing the award show in 6th grade. It was just like Nashley Cephas, Nashley Cephas, Nashley Cephas, and I was like, why are we having an award show? Because she pretty much just took everything.
In 3 short years, PartPick built a team of 10 employees. Fast forward to November 2016. Amazon officially acquired PartPick and hired the team to continue developing and working with the technology. Life is ever evolving for Nashley, who has accomplished so much.
It's funny how you go through life, you think, oh, once I graduate from bachelor's, I'll be set. But then it's like, oh, this is only the beginning. Then I thought, okay, let me just get a PhD, then I'll be good. And then I got the PhD. I was like, okay, this is really the beginning. And so it seems like things keep coming around. So this kind of feels like a beginning point for me. I definitely have aspirations to come back to Jackson and help with the technology scene and the startup scene here. I recently set up a nonprofit called The Beam Path, and where we're wanting to help people get that technical expertise that they may lack or are in search for in order to help them start their company.
Dr. Nashley Cephas, Black Girl Magic, Exceptional Engineer, and the 2018 Young, Gifted, and Empowered Innovator of the Year.
Wow, Mika. Thank you so much. That was a powerful celebration. I tell you, I want to get up and go do something else, different today. Wow, that was amazing. Thank you so much for sharing those videos with us. Thank
You're
you
welcome.
for the conversation that we had today. It's always an amazing conversation, and I always feel like I'm home at my kitchen table when we have these conversations.
I know. I know.
Well, thank you so much again, and we look forward to our conversations as we move forward in 2021. I want to wish you so much success I got to take this opportunity to give you a huge pat on the back for the amazing work that you do. And we have a little trailer that we're going to end and close up with so people know where to connect with this award show that's coming up. But tell the people where they can connect and be able, and what the date is, the time, so we can go ahead and put it on our calendars.
So the award show, the 2021 Young Gifted and Empowered Awards, will air this Sunday, March 21st at 4 p.m. Here locally in Jackson. It will air on WLOO My 35. It'll also air in Cleveland, Mississippi on, I think, 8.1, a TV station there, 8.1 analog. And it'll also air in Biloxi on channel 70 there. And for those who are out of state and want to watch there, it will be streaming on Quayle TV app, which is like the Netflix for African American documentaries. And it's also owned by a Black female, JSU alumni. And so it'll be streaming live on that at 4 p.m. on Sunday as well. And then you can get it on demand. And then on April the 11th, it will air, our version of this broadcast will air on Mississippi Public Broadcasting at 1 p.m. on April the 11th. For more information, or, if you didn't get those times, you can visit our website at younggiftedandempowered.com and catch those times, the broadcast times and stations and apps and everything. So.
And we're not going to list the honorees for this year because we want you to go to that website, younggiftedandempowered.com, and find out about all the incredible information about the work of the 2021 honorees and their amazing journey. We want you to share it with as many people as you can. Make sure your family, your friends, your loved ones, your children, your grandchildren, your sisters, your brothers, your mamas, your daddies, everybody tuned in to one of these broadcasts, because it's always a powerful, powerful conversation, a powerful event and awards with some incredible young folks that are doing some amazing, amazing things. So thank you again so much for your work, Mika. We wish you success at Women for Progress. We love you, and we love the work that you do. Keep on doing it, okay?
Thank you. And, I love you ladies for Women for Progress. You guys are so supportive, y'all. I don't care what I have. I look up you, Miss Juanita, Teresa, Women for Progress. They are there. So I have appreciated your support over the years. Even when I call you, Willie, to talk about other stuff, you make yourself available. And so to have that network of sisters that you can call on and depend on, that is amazing. And I appreciate you guys so much.
Well, thank you. Thank you so much for saying so. Okay, I think we are right on the money. So we're going to close with this trailer for the Young Gifted and Empower Awards. Get connected. Thank you.
Celebrate Mississippi's Black Excellence, the 2021 Young Gifted and Empowered Awards, honoring Project Impact Mississippi, Natalie A. Collier, Dr. Felosio Bacarede, and Christone Kingfish Ingram, with performances by Tank and the Bankers, Alexa Spike, Amia Edwards, and more. Sunday, March 21st, streaming live on the Quayle TV app, or visit www.younggiftedandempowered.com for more program air dates and stations. Presented by Patty Pack Honda, Higher Purpose Co., and Cricket Wireless.